Starters are presented by DCH Health System. DCH Health System has been providing quality and compassionate health care in West Alabama for nearly 100 years. DCH is a champion for your health and proud supporters of the Crimson Tide. Here is the lineup for Tim Walton and the Gators. The center fielder is Kendra Falby. She'll lead things off. Skylar Wallace, the shortstop, bats second. Jocelyn Erickson catching, batting third. Ava Brown, the first baseman, bats fourth. Reagan Walsh, SA player, batting fifth. Corby Otis, left field, batting sixth. Batting seventh, Cassie McClellan, the right fielder. Ariel Kowalewski, the third baseman, bats eighth, and batting ninth is the second baseman, Mia Williams. They'll face in the circle for Alabama, the right-handed graduate from Jackson, Tennessee, the transfer from Central Arkansas, Kayla Beaver. Beaver on the year with a .51 ERA, a 7-1 record, making her 12th appearance and 9th start. She has 5 complete games. She's pitched 55 innings, 24 hits, 8 runs, 4 earned, 14 walks, 67 strikeouts. Opponents batting .132 against Beaver on the year. As I bring in my broadcast partner, Gray Robertson. Gray, as I mentioned with Coach Murphy, nothing was fun about yesterday. Alabama looking to bounce back here this evening.
No, and there's a lot at stake here tonight to keep pace in the conference race. This is a game you really need to win, but more importantly, it's about confidence. It's about feeling good about what you're doing. And I think this team, based on what I saw pregame, is angry to an appropriate level. They want to prove something tonight. Now they have to do it.
Kendra Falby will lead things off for the Gators. Beaver looks in, and here comes the first pitch. A little outside for ball one.
And I'll add, Kayla Beaver got the start game one. 7 innings, 3 hits, 2 runs, both unearned, 3 walks, and 8 strikeouts. It's Beaver Rothrock again, so it's going to be all about the chess match. Who can make adjustments to what they saw on Saturday?
The 1-0 pitch. Low, 2 balls and no strikes. Defensively for the Crimson Tide, Jenna Johnson in left, White in center, Lauren Johnson in right, Dowling at third, Cahalan at short, Hevlin at second, Dukeshire at first, Giles behind the plate, Esmond the DP with Kayla Beaver pitching. The 2-0, slap foul, 2-1. Umpires for today's ball game, Marty Abazishan is behind home plate, James Goolsey at first, and Cameron Ellison, the third base umpire. Falby at the plate, batting .458, 38 of 83, 36 runs scored, 2 doubles, 2 triples, 12 RBIs on the season.
2 for 8 with an RBI and 3 runs scored this weekend.
The 2-1. Ground ball past Beaver. Hevlin has it, has to hurry. The throw is going to be in time to get her for out number 1, and that's a huge out. One of the big differences in game 1 to game 2 of this series was the top of the order. 0 for 9 in game 1, 9 for 12 in game 2, including another runner reaching on an error. So keeping the top of the order off base, huge for Alabama.
And handling what was kind of a bang-bang play. Falby's very fast and made that tight, but Callie Hevlin did a nice job calling off Beaver and making a good throw.
Skylar Wallace steps in. The first pitch to her is a called strike. Wallace batting .477, 31 of 65, 36 runs scored, 7 doubles, 3 triples, 6 homers, 29 runs driven in.
It's an illegal pitch, ball 1, 1-0 count.
Oh.
And there you go. It was an illegal pitch. So 1-0 the count now on Wallace.
Sure.
The 1-0 pitch. Called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike now.
So I naturally look to our colleague in the next booth, Michelle Smith, the pitcher, and she looks a little confused as well. I'm not quite 100% sure what the call was. I didn't see anything crazy.
I think that's the first time Beaver's been called for an illegal pitch this season. That pitch is inside to the backstop. 2 balls and 1 strike on Wallace. The first inning is presented by Barclay GMC of Tuscaloosa. For over 42 years, Barclay makes it easy online at barclaygmc.com. The 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2-2. That might be the first time all weekend I think Skylar has been truly fooled on a pitch.
Maybe the 1 strikeout from Beaver that was actually pretty similar. That time it was a drop more in the dirt. The K was a little bit higher, but it was down and in.
The 2-2 is in the dirt, and the count's full, 3-2.
And as we've talked about, Skylar Wallace, we saw her in the early days, and it was so funny. You know, when she transferred to Florida, we talked to Florida people, and they said, did you ever imagine she'd be doing what she'd be doing?
Yes.
And we said yes. The talent's always been there.
Yeah.
The barrel, the bat control, the pitch recognition. So now you just got to do everything you can to try and fool her.
Payoff pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Wallace down on strikes, and there's 2 away.
by doing that. You know, it's the same pitch that Beaver got her on in game 1, but the location is a little bit different. That's just a hard drop on the inner half. And Skylar Wallace is looking at that saying, I can pull this, and it just drops below the barrel. It's a beautiful pitch call by Lance McMahon and great execution by Kayla Beaver.
So 2 outs, nobody on for Jocelyn Erickson. First pitch, called strike. Erickson batting .463, 31 of 67, 20 runs scored, 7 doubles, 4 homers, and 35 runs driven in.
3 for 5 with an RBI, 2 walks, and 2 runs scored in the series, and a little story after this pitch.
The 0-1 in the dirt, 1-1.
So comes from a softball family. Older sister Emily played at Utah State, now a coach at Weber State. Other sister Kaylee still plays at Utah State. We know both of them from the summer leagues, and I got to meet the Erickson parents earlier today, and they said they listen to the Out of the Box podcast all the time, which is very nice.
The 1-1, a little bit high, 2-1. Alabama leads the all-time series now 45-42 over Florida after yesterday's 11-2 Gator win. Here at Rhodes Stadium, the Tide has a 16-15 advantage over the Gators. In SEC conference games, Bama leads the series 37-28. The 2-1. That's a fly ball to left. Jenna Johnson on the run and foul ground. She'll come up with it, making the catch for out number 3 to retire the side. And that's a much better first inning here today.
Well, you had to set the tone. If Florida knew what was good for them, they were going to throw everything they could at this first inning, and it was, fairly good at bats from Falby. Wallace worked a long count. Erickson, had a good pitch to hit, just mishit it. But for Kayla Beaver, that's a great way to really set the standard for Game 3.
No runs, no hits, no errors, no runners left. We head to the home half of the first. Florida nothing, Alabama coming to bat here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. We head to the bottom of the first inning. No score between Alabama and Florida. And here's the DCH starting lineup for Patrick Murphy's Alabama Crimson Tide, who enter today's game with a record of 19-3 overall, 0-2 in the SEC. And they are 9-3 here at the Rhodes House on the year. And the starters are presented by DCH Health System. DCH Health System has been providing quality and compassionate health care in West Alabama for nearly 100 years. DCH is a champion for your health and proud supporters of the Crimson Tide. Leading things off is the left fielder, Jenna Johnson. Lauren Johnson, the right fielder, bats second. Abby Dukeshire, first base, batting third. Marley Giles catching, batting fourth. Callie Hevlin, the second baseman, bats fifth. Batting sixth, the designated player, Lauren Essman. Bailey Dowling, third base, batting seventh. Batting eighth is Kinley Cahalan, the shortstop. And batting ninth, the center fielder, Kristen White. Jenna Johnson steps in, and here comes the first pitch. And it's a called strike, and that pitch was thrown by the right-handed freshman from Whiteland, Indiana, Keegan Rothrock. Rothrock with a .61 ERA and a 9-2 record on the year. 13th appearance and 12th start with 8 complete games for Rothrock. The 0-1. Johnson with a fly ball. That's going to fall for a base hit into right field. And Jenna Johnson starts things off with an opposite field single. Get Alabama a base hit here in the first inning.
Well, Keegan Rothrock surprised me on Saturday. Obviously, I knew she was good. Her rise ball is deadly, but I didn't expect to see her go screwball as much as she did. That time, it had some upspin, but it was trying to get inside, and Johnson got the hands there, got the barrel there, and while she was still a little jammed, that allowed that ball to fall right in front of McClellan and Falby in the outfield.
Lauren Johnson steps in and bunts and yes, she didn't pull it back in time. for a strike on Johnson. Finishing up Rothrock. 69 and a third innings pitched on the year. 20 hits, 9 runs, 6 earned, 17 walks, 77 strikeouts. Opponent's batting .091 against her on the year. And that's in there for a strike 0-2. And that hit right there by Jenna Johnson is the 7th hit that she's allowed in her last 7 outings.
It's absurd.
Ridiculous.
It's really absurd. And if you even go further than that, she's given up like 3 runs in her last 9 outings.
The 0-2. Lil outside. 1-2 on Lauren Johnson. She's batting .414, which leads the Alabama team. 12 of 29, 10 runs scored, 2 doubles, and 5 RBIs on the year.
2 for 5 with a run scored here in the series.
The 1-2. Johnson fouls that one away. We'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The first inning is presented by Barclay GMC of Tuscaloosa. For over 42 years, Barclay makes it easy online at barclaygmc.com.
And a little more on the scouting report from Rothrock. It'll be high 60s again. Good rise, screw combo, and she does have a changeup. It's a little inconsistent, but still dangerous.
1-2 is high, 2-2.
And that's the key right there. Again, I think Alabama maybe was a little taken by surprise by the screwball in game 1, too. But what they did well was not chase the rise ball. And that has to continue to be the plan here tonight because that's how Rothrock is able to get her cheap outs.
The 2-2 pitch. Johnson fouls that one away. Staying alive at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Defensively for the Gators, Otis in left, Falby in center, McClellan in right, Kowalewski at third, Wallace at short, Williams at second, Brown at first, Erickson behind the plate. Walsh is the DP, Rothrock pitching. The 2-2, again fouled away. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And even at bat like this, we just haven't seen that much here this weekend, where we've seen an Alabama batter just battle and battle and battle and make the opposing Gator pitcher throw a lot of pitches. And doing it already here in the second at-bat of the game is Lauren Johnson. The 2-2. Soft liner that's caught at second by Williams, but Jenna Johnson didn't get too far off first, so no play there, and there's one gone.
Got Rothrock again trying to jam that righty hitter. Did get Johnson. Luckily, I think that was kind of one of those plays where it was clear what was going to happen, so there was no chance for Johnson to be cut off first. You know, sometimes things can get a little wonky, but if it's going to be an out in that situation, I'm okay with knowing it's going to be an out instead of possibly having something squirrely happen.
Abby Dukeshire steps in. First pitch is a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Dukeshire batting .375, 24 of 64, 9 runs scored. 4 doubles, 5 homers, and 23 runs driven in.
0 for 4 with a couple walks and an RBI here this weekend.
The 0-1. Dukeshire fouls it straight back, 0-2.
And now we're in the scenario where Alabama's just trying to get something that they really haven't done a lot this weekend. So far, now including that last out, 1 for 19 with runners on base. That was an issue in the Crimson Classic. And sometimes you just need the one. You just need the one to break the seal.
That one's outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Today's weather and field condition report brought to you by the Cook Museum of Natural Science. Discover something amazing at the Cook Museum of Natural Science in downtown Decatur, Alabama. For more information, visit cookmuseum.org. First, the 1-2 pitch to Dukeshire. Grounded through for a base hit into left field. And Alabama now with runners on first and second and 1 out. And already here in the first inning, Alabama has doubled their hit output against Keegan Rothrock for the weekend.
That was an interesting pitch. It looked a little off speed. I'm trying to see. Yeah, that's an off speed pitch that Rothrock just leaves over the middle. And good recognition by Dukeshire to get the barrel there, put it where the defense isn't. Like you said already, this is infinitely better than Saturday. But now you have to cash in. Yep. Don't waste this chance.
Marley Giles steps in. The first pitch is high and out for ball 1. And even more continuing that theme, Alabama didn't get a runner to second base against Keegan Rothrock in the first game. So things already looking up. But yeah, you have to take advantage. The 1-0. Giles with a ground ball. That's through for a base hit. Jenna rounds third. She will score without a throw. And Alabama has an early 1-0 lead here in the first inning on 3 singles and the RBI for Marley Giles.
Well, you got to love the piece of hitting. Rothrock, again, is trying to throw that screw, but it's not getting in. These are not great pitches. from Rothrock. But Alabama is taking advantage. And when you get a mistake against a very, very good and eventually, by the end of her career, great pitcher, you've got to take advantage. And we've seen Alabama do that here immediately. Patrick Murphy wanted Alabama to score first. He wanted his team to set the tone. And I love that they're doing that by letting Rothrock come to them, by waiting for the mistake and then pouncing.
So now with runners on first and second, one out. Alabama leading 1-0. Leading in the series for the first time. Callie Hevlin to the plate. First pitch. Fouls it back for strike one. Hevlin batting .271, 16 of 59 with 7 runs scored, 3 doubles, 2 homers, and 14 runs driven in.
0 for 4 in the series with a walk and a strikeout. Has had some pretty good at-bats, just hasn't been able to get something on the ground yet.
The 0-1. Inside, 1-1.
You know,
Finishing up the weather report real quick.
Sure.
64 degrees at first pitch under sunny skies. No wind. Nothing to talk about wind-wise. I know.
No.
First time in a while. That one comes up high, 2-1.
In this economy, no wind. I can't believe that.
Rothrock looks in. Here comes a 2-1 pitch to Hevlin. Fouled it away, 2-2.
I was about to say, you know, Hevlin had that great hit last game that was taken away by Falby making the diving catch. And Callie Hevlin is also pretty crafty. You know, with 2 strikes, you can't lay down a bunt, but she's capable of doing different things in the box.
The 2-2. Hevlin with a slow roller to Wallace at short. She charges in, makes a throw just in time to get Hevlin. Does move the runners, and there's 2 gone.
It's an out, but what was Alabama also not doing against Keegan Rothrock?
Moving runners.
Moving runners and putting the ball on the ground, too. So it's a productive out that made Florida have to make a play. Skylar Wallace is very good. She made the play. Throw was a little wide, but still, you got both runners forward and now 2 in scoring position.
So now 2 outs. Runners at second and third for Lauren Essman, the designated player. Left-handed hitting. First pitch. Swung on and missed. Ball got away momentarily from Erickson, but not far enough for Dukeshire to come in. 0-1. Essman batting .318, 7 of 22, 3 runs scored, 4 doubles, a homer, and 9 runs driven in. Still working back from the muscle injury that kept her out for a couple of weeks. The 0-1. Swung on and missed, 0-2.
Little late on these swings. You know, the path is actually fairly good. I think she's seeing it, just the timing isn't quite right.
The 0-2. Essman fouls that one away. We'll do it again. No balls and 2 strikes. 2 outs, runners on second and third. Alabama leads at 1-0 here in the bottom of the first inning. Love to put up a crooked number here. The 0-2. Essman with a fly ball to deep center field, ranging back and making the catch just in front of the warning track is Falby for out number 3 to retire the side. Lauren put a charge into that one, but not quite enough to get out of here.
Oh, I thought there was no wind. That one, it looked like it was going and then just kind of died, gave Falby plenty of time to get there. But you know what? You've got the lead, and you've finally been able to put a little bit of pressure on Florida and given a bit of cushion to Kayla Beaver. One's probably not going to be enough. Florida's going to make a charge, but it's the right tone to set after the first inning.
For the Tide here in the first, 1 run on 3 hits. There were no errors and 2 left. We played an inning. Alabama 1, Florida 0 here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The second inning is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with a refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. We move to the top of the second inning. Alabama with a 1-0 lead over Florida. 2 up for the Gators here in the second. Brown, Walsh, and Otis. 4-5-6 against Caleb Beaver in the circle for the Crimson Tide. Beaver was able to get the Gators down in order in the first inning, and Alabama plated a run in the bottom of the first to give them their first lead of this series. 3 hits for the Tide in the first inning, resulting in the 1 run. Now Caleb Beaver will face on Ava Brown, who has been just a menace here this weekend for the Gators. Brown on the year batting .347, 17-49, 11 runs scored, 2 doubles, 5 homers, and 16 runs driven in.
3 for 5 with 4 RBIs this weekend.
First pitch is low for ball 1.
2 in each game. Had the home run in game 2, that difference making 2 RBI single in game 1, and that's why she's up in the lineup in the 4 spot. Curious to see how she handles that pressure after being lower in the order really for most of this year.
The 1-0, fouled away. 1 ball, 1 strike. Dimensions here at the Rhodes House, 6 foot wall all the way around in the outfield, 200 down the lines, 220 to straightaway center field. A little bit of a thinner crowd. It's still a good crowd, but a thinner crowd here today than it was yesterday. A lot of that due to it being spring break.
Hello.
Yes.
Are we going to a beach anytime soon?
The 1-1, low, 2-1. Tallahassee, as we learned in the office, is about 2 hours away from a beach, so no,
no,
we are not.
By the way, this is the highest in the order Brown has been this year. She's been in the 5 spot 4 times, mostly back half. So Tim Walton put a lot of trust in this fabulous freshman.
The 2-1, line foul over the Florida dugout, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Patrick Murphy's the head coach of the Crimson Tide. He's in his 26th season as the head coach for Alabama. Alabama head coaching record, 1,257 victories, 358 losses, a .778 winning percentage for the national champion and Hall of Famer. The 2-2 is a 1-hopper back to Beaver. She makes a stop in the throw, and there's 1 gone. Something else that we've talked a little bit about, but might not be something that a lot of people are focusing on. Caleb Beaver's done an excellent job playing her position here her whole time at Alabama, but it seems to be that there's a lot of times it comes right back to her, and she does a great job.
Yeah, she gets a lot of balls back and really always makes a good throw to first.
Thank you.
I'm knocking on wood.
Reagan Walsh takes the first pitch low for ball 1.
But I say that because I was talking to Laura Nesson one day, and she was saying, oh, yeah, Beaver throws it 1,000 miles an hour at us. And sometimes the play is harder for us than it is for her.
The 1-0. This is a little bit low, 2-0. That can be an issue for pitchers. I mean, remember there was a time Montana Fouts had a time with it.
Oh, I mean, Kelly Barnhill famously was not very comfortable doing that. And it's not necessarily that they can't do it. It's just a comfort thing.
Right.
Because it is somewhat strange at times.
The 2-0. Fouled off on a check swing, 2-1. Reagan Walsh batting .383, 23 of 60 with 16 runs scored, 6 doubles, 6 homers, and 22 runs driven in.
1 for 4 with a double, a walk, and a run scored in the series. 2 for 9 all time on Monday Night Softball with 4 RBIs and a homer.
The 2-1 pitch, fouled back, 2-2. Finishing the coaching staff for the Crimson Tide, assistant coach is Caleb Rowe, Lance McMahon, the pitching coach, hitting coach Adam Arbor, coordinator of player development Ryan I. Murray, director of softball operations is Jaden Spencer.
Ribs. And by the way, Jaden's about to have a heck of a week.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
We're all with you, Ribs.
The 2-2 is low, 3-2. AC Atinka, the athletic trainer, strength and conditioning coach Michelle Diltz, Nathan Sheehan, sports information, Scott Moyer, the video director, assistant video director is Lindsay Garcia, Stu Moore, the equipment manager, and the sports nutritionist is Brianna Leonard.
And we'll be talking about Stu in just a minute as well.
Payoff pitch, and that's a chopper to short. Cahalan makes a nice stop, double clutches, but has time to make the play for out number 2.
That's really, really difficult. You have to wait for that short hop, and frankly, kind of hope. Because you stick the glove there and you hope that it's in the right spot and you hope that the timing is right and everything. And Cahalan able to get the stop and then also realize that she didn't have to rush the throw because Walsh is not Kendra Falby. That led to an out.
So 2 outs, nobody on now for Corby Otis. Otis batting .417, 25 of 60, 29 runs scored, 3 doubles, 2 triples, 4 homers, and 15 runs driven in.
And if we want to nitpick, I would say Otis is probably the one in the Florida lineup who's kind of underwhelmed here this week.
The 1-0. Knock on wood again.
Hey, I'm just saying. But, that's also kind of what happens. At the Judy Garmin, she hit .818.
Right.
It would have been remarkable if she had rolled in here and hit .800 again.
The reigning SEC Player of the Week entering this week.
Yeah, 1 of 5 with a walk and 2 Ks in the series.
1-1's fouled off. 1-2. 2 outs, nobody on. 1-0 Alabama here in the top of the second. For Florida, their head coach is Tim Walton. He's in his 19th season. Noted podcaster. Assistant coach and recruiting coordinator Eric Thomas. Pitching coach Chelsea Dobbins and Francesca Anea, the assistant coach.
I gotta say, after this pitch.
1-2.
Oh.
Right there for a called strike 3. And that's another 1-2-3 inning pitched by Kayla Beaver, and that tied strikeout, like all tied strikeouts, brought to you by Barclay GMC of Tuscaloosa. For over 42 years, Barclay makes it easy. Online at barclaygmc.com.
Well, I don't know. We'll see how the podcast goes tomorrow when I record with Tim Walton. I sent him an email earlier. I don't think I've ever done that with an opposing coach on game day. But what I love about that half inning from Kayla Beaver, didn't let Florida respond. Now they're 7 of 12 in the response stat this year, and really nothing that loud in that inning, which is huge.
Gators go down in order in the second. We move to the bottom of the second. Still 1-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field. Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with a refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. We move to the bottom of the second inning, 1-0 Alabama, due up for the Tide here in the second. Dowling, Cahalan, and White, 7-8-9 against Keegan Rothrock in the circle for the Gators. And Alabama here in this second time around against Rothrock after she threw a complete game shutout, one hitter in game 1. Alabama looking much better. First pitch to Bailey Dowling is low for ball 1. Dowling batting .259, 14 of 54 with 7 runs scored, 2 doubles, a homer, and 9 runs driven in.
0 for 6 with an RBI in the series. Another one who's had solid at-bats.
That's a 2-hopper to second. Williams moves back, makes a stop in the throw for out number 1.
Again, though, different. You just made the freshman Williams have to make a play on what was kind of a high hopper, and I just immensely more pressure being put on the Florida defense already to start this game. It shows the adjustments that have come here tonight against Rothrock.
Kinley Cahalan now steps in. The first pitch to her is outside for ball 1. Cahalan batting .274, 17 of 62 with 13 runs scored, a double, a homer, and 8 runs driven in. The 1-0. That's a ground ball that's going to get stopped by Wallace. The throw will not be made, and Cahalan beats out the infield hit. And Kinley Cahalan puts one on the ground.
I was about to say, if she took another pitch, that she was the one I'm looking for adjustments from the most. And I feel like sometimes I'm harder on Kinley because her just physical and mental talent with her swing is as high as any player we've ever covered. But she's been struggling getting the barrel up and hitting through the ball. She's been flying out, popping up, but that time got the barrel there and sent it right back up the middle.
Kristen White pulls back the bunt. It's high for ball 1. White batting .318, 7-22 with 5 runs scored and an RBI on the year.
Just a casual .667 average this weekend, 2 for 3 with a run scored.
The 1-0 is high, 2 balls and no strikes. Is low, 3-0.
I'll tell you what, though, Tom. Alabama's got to get more because they know what happens if you don't. I'm thinking of last year's Monday night softball game against Arkansas. Alabama took a 1-0 lead on the Emma Broadfoot solo home run, and that was kind of it. That let Arkansas tie it up, force extras. We were here forever. There was no Twitter space because of it, and then Arkansas eventually found a way to win. Alabama had chances that night, but bottom line, you know, you're trying to respond to a day where things went wrong. You've got to make sure things go right, and then when they go right once or twice, don't settle. Keep pushing.
The 3-0 is outside. It is a 4-pitch walk to Kristen White. And Alabama now runners on first and second with 1 away. And we head back to the top of the order, and Jenna Johnson, who led things off here in the first with a single and came around to score.
And there is no action currently in the Florida bullpen.
And one of the main pitchers is playing first base right now.
That's fair. Hard to do.
Yes. She's good, but I don't know if she can do both of those. First pitch to Jenna Johnson. She pulls back the bunt. It's a called strike, 0-1. Johnson, the graduate from Franklin, Tennessee. Trying to add to this 1-0 Alabama lead. 1 out, runners on first and second in the bottom of the second inning. The 0-1 inside, 1-1. Florida today wearing the orange over white uniforms, the orange jerseys with blue sleeves, Gators and blue across the chest. Excuse me, Florida and blue across the chest. White pants, white socks with orange and blue stirrups. Johnson with a ground ball to short. Wallace has it, will tag the runner. And that's the only play that she has. So Cahalan is tagged out. Johnson reaches on the fielder's choice, and there's 2 away.
Right fielder, number 18, Lauren Johnson.
Good job by Cahalan slowing up just enough to where Wallace couldn't make the tag and throw to first.
So now Lauren Johnson, Jenna's little sister, to the plate. First pitch. Blowing in for ball 1. Alabama wearing the brand new uniforms, newly unveiled here today. All white with crimson pinstripes in both the jersey and the pant.
They're gorgeous.
They're
just
really
going to
nice.
say it.
The 1-0 is high, 2 balls and no strikes. Alabama in script crimson across the chest, crimson socks. Patrick Murphy. I think maybe the only time I've ever asked Patrick Murphy a uniform question in our pregame interview. The 2-0 pulls back the bunt. It's called strike, 2-1.
The only time that we've ever been in dugout conversation and then we all stopped and went, whoa, when Bailey Dowling walked in wearing the new unis.
The 2-1 hits the inside corner for a strike, 2-2.
So that screwball again from Rothrock coming in on the hands. Wonder if, Lauren Johnson just got a little bit more off the plate and backed up a hair.
The 2-2 pitch fouls that one away. We'll do it again, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Patrick Murphy calls timeout and brings Lauren over to have a quick word. You got good speed on the base paths with Kristen White on second and Jenna Johnson on first.
Oh, yeah.
So if you're Lauren, you get it in the gap here, probably scoring 2.
If you get it through the infield, 1 is scoring for sure.
Right. 2-2. Johnson pops it up on the infield. Williams from second comes up, makes the catch for out number 3 to retire the side.
Still putting pressure on Keegan Rothrock. You know, already, I mean, we've played 2 innings. Alabama is doing a much better job putting pressure on the pitcher for Florida and the Florida defense. And, again, you're going to need more runs eventually, but based on what I've seen so far, they'll come.
For the Tide here in the second, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 2 left. We played 2, still 1-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The third inning is presented by Bojangles. Download the new Bojangles app and bring the flavor to your next softball tailgate with chicken, biscuits, and fixings, all by ordering ahead on the convenient Bojangles app. It's Bo time, y'all. We head to the top of the third inning. Alabama with a 1-0 lead over Florida. 2 up for the Gators here in the third. McClellan, Kowalski, and Williams. 7-8-9 against Caleb Beaver in the circle for the Crimson Tide. And here to take you through the third inning, which has become an inning of chaos once again. I turn things over to my partner, Gray Robertson.
Thanks, Tom. Yeah, that was weird yesterday, wasn't it?
It was back in full effect yesterday.
Yeah. Cassidy McClellan, the freshman, will lead off here in the third, making just her 3rd career start, and she'll take the first pitch lower part of his zone for a strike. McClellan on the year is 7 of 16, 6 runs scored, 2 doubles, 8 RBIs. Part of that, as we talked about yesterday, huge freshman class for Tim Walton. The 0-1 from Beaver, and McClellan rips that to center, but Kristen White can do it just like Falby can, and she's there to make the catch for out number 1.
Well, definitely the best contact that a Gator batter has had against Beaver so far today, but it was a rocket right at Kristen, and that's the first out of the inning.
Ariel Kowalewski, another freshman, will step in. 3 freshmen here at the bottom of the order for the Gators. First pitch to Kowalewski, misses away for ball 1. She's hitting .304, 17 of 56, 15 runs scored, 4 doubles, a triple, 2 homers, 12 RBIs, and in the series, 0 for 6 with a run scored. The 1-0, a little high, 2-0.
But the number of freshmen on this team that are big contributors for Florida, the reason why they can go from being run ruled by a team like Michigan, who's not very good this year, to run ruling a team like Alabama in Tuscaloosa, which is a big rarity. They're very talented, but they're freshmen.
2-0 in their first strike, 2-1. Yeah, they don't know any better.
So there'll be some inconsistencies there for sure.
That's why Florida, I think for both of us, coming into the year, was probably the toughest team to try and place in our preseason rankings. 2-1 to Kowalewski. That's hit sharply to third, handled by Dowling. The throw over to Dukeshire at first is in plenty of time. 2 down.
Very nice play there by Dowling as well. It wasn't a very difficult play, but just for her confidence, making a play on the infield, it was a struggle for everyone, but in particular Dowling yesterday. But good job by her turning the page and making the play.
There we go.
That's what you got to do.
Mia Williams with 2 outs and the bases clear. First pitch is hit to Dowling. That is a foul ball, as called by Marty Abazetian. I think that's right.
Yeah.
1-0 Alabama here in the top of the third, game 3 of this series. Williams, the freshman, hitting 135, 5 of 37, 10 runs scored, a double, a homer, 7 RBIs, and not a ton of options at second base, so that's why she's continued to go. The 0-1 is hit to Cahalan this time. She's got it, and the throw to first will end the inning. Kayla Beaver mowing them down, and a fairly quiet top of the third for the Florida offense.
And that's what you got to do if you're Alabama. You're still searching a little bit. You're having more success, but you're searching for the more run production here offensively. So you got to get really crisp innings from your pitching staff and defense. You got one right there in the third.
And now we go to the home half of that third inning. Alabama 1, Florida 0 here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The third inning is presented by Bojangles. Download the new Bojangles app and bring the flavor to your next softball tailgate with chicken, biscuits, and fixings, all by ordering ahead on the convenient Bojangles app. It's bow time, y'all. And it's go time here in the home half of the third. Alabama 1, Florida 0. The Tide will have the heart of the order, 3, 4, 5 due up. Dukeshire, Giles, and Hevlin against Keegan Rothrock and Ava Brown. I was curious. She's still in the game at first base, so obviously will not be warming up here in this half inning unless a defensive change is made.
I don't think she was out there during the offensive inning for Florida, although it went by pretty quickly. It's possible she got a few pitches in.
We'll keep an eye. Here's Abby Dukeshire to lead off the frame. First pitch, that one is hit sky high, and she knew she made a mistake. Over to third, and the catch is made by Kowalewski for out number 1. And Duke knows, I think I got the right pitch, but I kind of went away from the plan right there.
Yeah. Got underneath it and swung up, and when you do that, that's going to induce a pop-up.
It's very hard for that to get down on the ground.
Yeah.
So Duke now 1 for 2. Here's the 1 for 1 Marley Giles. She had the RBI in the first. First pitch from Rothrock. Low rise, that goes a little high, 1-0.
Alabama softball's upcoming schedule brought to you by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you.
First the 1-0 to Giles. That misses low and inside, 2-0. Tom, where are we going next?
Alabama hits the road for a huge 4-game swing, starting out with a single game in Tallahassee, taking on Florida State on Wednesday. First pitch set for 6 will be on the air at 5:50.
2-0. There's the screw in there for a strike, 2-1. I'm sorry, did you say we're going back to Tallahassee? Did we not learn?
I don't know. Maybe we'll have to take a different route.
Please.
Avoid the portal.
The 2-1. That misses low and in, 3-1. 1 out, bases clear, 1-0 Alabama here in the bottom of the third. At least we go to Athens right after.
That's true.
Place we love. 3-1 to Giles. That's a strike. Outer half, full count.
Happening right now elsewhere in the Crimson Tide Sports Network. Hey, Coach.
Oh, I was about to say,
yeah.
There's another game?
There's no other games happening. But Hey, Coach is available to you.
Here's the payoff from Rothrock to Giles. She got a piece. We'll do it again. 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Well, great. It's time for a scoreboard update brought to you by the Out of the Box podcast. Check out the latest episode of the Out of the Box podcast wherever you get your podcasts. No pod coming up this week due to scheduling and travel, but we will have a Twitter space this evening following today's game, so give us a follow at OutofTheBox_pod on the X.
Another payoff to Giles. That's well struck out to center. That's tailing away, and it's off the glove of Falby. Giles will stop at second as McClellan threw it in after the ricochet, and finally Kendra Falby can't get to one. Marley Giles has an extra base hit with one out here in the bottom of the third.
First extra base hit of the series for Alabama batting, and yeah, I mean, at this point, I was gun shy. I thought that Falby was going to be able to track that one down, but it just kept on carrying.
Very close.
Yeah.
Might have mistimed the jump a bit based on that replay. Here's Callie Hevlin. Ooh, foul back the first pitch, straight back. 0-1. Callie grounded out her first time up. I will also say, though, pretty good relay in from McClellan. She was positioned quite well, and that's a sharp play by the freshman. 0-1 to Hevlin. That misses outside, 1-1. Anyway, keep on going, Tom.
Yeah. So if you want to be a part of that space that we're going to do after the game here this evening, be sure to be following us at outofthebox_pod on the X.
I'll do like a 15-minute warning tweet. 1-1 to Hevlin. Rise misses high, and I love that Callie Hevlin just showed zero interest in offering it that pitch. 2-1.
Also, there is no new episode this week, but be sure to check out the all-new It Just Means More softball podcast from Softball America featuring Gray and myself, live on YouTube Monday evenings at 6.
2-1. Hevlin fouls that out towards the food trucks and whatnot down the right field line. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
So like, subscribe, and share all of that. Not many games happening today, so not a huge scoreboard update.
2-2. Misses outside, full count. I've got one. Tennessee beat Howard 11-4.
Okay.
Cool little road trip for the Lady Vols going up to D.C.
Just a globe-trotting team this year.
They've been everywhere, man. Payoff to Callie Hevlin is hit right to third, and Kowalewski lays out and makes the catch. It would have been foul, but that's still very impressive from the freshman at the hot corner, and there's 2 down.
I seriously don't know how she got that. It looked like she dove when it was already past her, and somehow she was able to get a glove on it in foul ground. Snow coned it and made the catch.
Giles still at second, 2 outs. Here's Lauren Essman. First pitch from Rothrock. Called strike, outer half, 0-1. Essman had that long fly out in the first that kind of died.
Yeah. She didn't miss it by much, though.
Yeah. See if she can straighten that out just a little bit. The 0-1. Foul tipped into the glove, 0-2. So I will use the scoreboard update to talk about what's coming up tomorrow. Doubleheader between Memphis and Mississippi State. Fun.
Go Memphis. And
then at 11 a.m. Central Time on the SEC Network with Kevin Brown and Amanda Scarborough, Texas at LSU. 0-2 to Essman. And there's a swing and a miss. I'll say it was a foul tip, but either way, it's a strikeout for Rothrock to end the bottom of the third. Alabama does strand a runner in scoring position, but once again, Tom, the evidence is there. We've seen 3 innings, and the offense has clearly come up with a different plan, and they're executing it right now against Rothrock.
Yeah, I think they've had the plans. It's just the execution of the plans hasn't been there so far this weekend, but today it's doing much better. Continue to plug away offensively, and if you're Caleb Beaver, keep doing the same in the circle.
And she'll be facing the Florida top of the order when we come back. Alabama 1, Florida 0, going to the 4th here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. We go to the 4th inning, and of course, the 4th inning is presented by Nukes. At Nukes, your food is always made to order in an open kitchen with the freshest ingredients. Visit them locally on University Boulevard or order online at nukes.com. And by the way, if you visit them locally right now, you're going to have some opportunities to eat there because all the children are gone for spring break.
Yes.
Nukes is a proud supporter of Alabama softball. So locals, now's the time. Dive in. No college students to worry about at Nukes.
Oh, us townies know when to come.
Amen, brother. I've learned since my time. Florida will have a top of the order due up here in the 4th. Falby, Wallace, and Erickson. Alabama leads at 1-0. The Tide, 5 hits so far tonight. Unfortunately, 1 for 7 RISP. But they got the 1 hit early in the first that drove in the run, and now it's all about continuing to plug away on offense, and defensively, just night and day sharper all the way around here so far.
Well, from what we've seen all year long, and this is continuing to show that, yesterday was an anomaly. It was just an off day, all the way around. So if you're Alabama, you've been able to flush that and learn from it, as Patrick Murphy talked about in our pregame interview, and playing much better here today. And hopefully Caleb Beaver can keep it rolling here in the 4th.
All right, a pretty mundane 3rd. We'll see what happens the rest of the night. I turn it back to my partner, Tom Canterbury.
Thanks so much, Greg. Caleb Beaver back out in the circle for the Crimson Tide. The Beeve has gone 3 innings. No hits, no runs, no walks, and 2 strikeouts. 37 pitches and 22 strikes for the Central Arkansas transfer. Overall in the game, nothing but zeros for Florida. For Alabama, 1 run on 5 hits, no errors, and 5 runners left on base. Kendra Falby will lead things off. Center fielder's 0 for 1 with a ground out. The first pitch is a called strike. Falby, a junior from Odessa, Florida. The 0-1. Swing and a miss. No balls and 2 strikes on her. So this next week for Alabama, again, the trip to Tallahassee on Wednesday, and then the Tide, a 3-game series at Georgia next weekend. So that one comes in a little bit high, 1-2. I don't think you'll find anywhere in the conference a tougher start to a conference slate than Alabama's hosting Florida and then traveling to Georgia the first 2 weekends of the season. The 1-2 pitch. Slap foul. We'll do it again. 1 ball, 2 strikes. We're sprung forward yesterday, so the sun just now finishing setting here in Tuscaloosa.
Don't get me started on daylight savings.
The 1-2. That's a 1 hopper to short. Cahalan throws. It's not going to be in time, though. Falby beat it out. And there wasn't a whole lot that Kinley could do there, as she and Bailey are discussing it.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot Kinley could do. There might have been a little something Bailey Dowling could do because she was in motion, and I wonder if Bailey is able to get there. The hop was kind of weird, so it would have been a little bit of a reach, but
yeah,
it's kind of one of those Kendra Falby plays, and now Florida has speed on the base paths.
For Skylar Wallace, the first pitch. Swung on a miss for strike 1 to Wallace, who is 0 for 1. She struck out her first time up. The 5th-year senior in her 10th year.
Happy 30th birthday to Skylar Wallace.
From Woodstock, Georgia. Of course, started her career here at Alabama. The 0-1. Chopper to second. They'll throw to second for 1. Can't get the double play, but Falby is retired on the fielder's choice. And any chance you get to get somebody with the speed of Falby out, good play there by Hevlin and Cahalan.
And that's all about chemistry. I mean, you've got to be on the same page.
Catcher number 8, Jocelyn Erickson.
And you're exactly right. You know, keeping somebody out of scoring position. That being said, you've got to be ready for Wallace to take off. Florida really hasn't had to try and steal all that much this weekend, but I wouldn't be shocked if they go here.
Jocelyn Erickson to the plate. The first pitch is high for ball 1, and Giles was ready. Wallace didn't go. 1-0. Erickson, sophomore from Phoenix, Arizona, the transfer from Oklahoma.
Who?
Yeah. The 1-0. That's going to be down for a base hit into left field. Ball gets in quickly, keeping Wallace at second, but now the Gators have runners on first and second with one away. Ava Brown to the plate.
Well, and this is where you see if Tim Walton's decision pays off. You move up Brown for these moments right here, knowing that eventually the people ahead will get on.
First pitch is a called strike at the knees, 0-1.
It's a really good frame by Marley Giles because that was a borderline pitch. She had to sell that a little bit, and Marty Abazishan gave her the call.
Brown, the freshman from Montgomery, Texas. The 0-1. Lower, 1 ball, 1 strike. 1 out, runners on first and second. Alabama trying to hold on to the 1-0 lead as we play here in the top of the 4th inning. The 1-1. It's a ground ball to Beaver. She has it, throws a second for 1, and Alabama turns the double play. Great job to get out of that inning, and great job fielding her position again by Kayla Beaver.
PFP. And I love that she hesitated just a second waiting for Cahalan to get there, but it's the awareness for me. Could have gone to third, but said, no, I know who Ava Brown is. She's not Kendra Falvey. We'll have time. And Alabama's defense comes up big.
With that double play, we want to remind you that in less time than an inning, you could be saving money by applying for a mortgage at AssuranceMortgage.com. Assurance Mortgage is a proud partner of the Crimson Tide. The double play erases the threat for Florida here in the 4th. No runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and 1 runner left on base. We move to the bottom of the 4th. 1-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.
The next time you need a medical imaging provider.
The 4th inning is presented by Nukes. At Nukes, your food is always made to order in an open kitchen with the freshest ingredients. Visit them locally on University Boulevard or order online at Nukes.com. Nukes is a proud supporter of Alabama softball. We move to the home half of the 4th inning. Alabama with a 1-0 lead over Florida, due up for the Tide here in the 4th. Dowling, Cahalan, and White, 7-8-9 against Keegan Rothrock in the circle for the Gators. And Rothrock so far has been good.
Damn you.
That was Amanda Locke
who is
walking
that?
by. Allison Habits, Amanda Locke just walked by.
Oh,
it's
yes,
fine.
very nice.
At least she knew the mic was there. Some people stand there and don't.
Yeah.
They just carry on a conversation, yell at their kids.
Keegan Rothrock's gone 3 innings, giving up 5 hits, 1 run that was earned, 1 walk, and 1 strikeout. 59 pitches and 38 strikes thrown by Rothrock so far. She's done a good job of minimizing the damage and keeping Alabama from putting up the big numbers, but the Tide has gotten to her a little bit more here today than they did in the first outing.
Yeah, I mean, we knew that. You know, coming in, teams were hitting under 100 against her with runners on base. Like, that's, as a freshman, that is very, very hard to pull off.
The fact that Alabama has 5 hits today is pretty dang impressive.
Oh, I'll pull out the media guide and see if this is even close to the most she's given up this year already.
Third baseman number 7, Bailey Dowling.
Bailey Dowling will lead things off for the Tide here, bottom of the order. Dowling's 0 for 1 with a ground out. First pitch. Low for ball 1.
So, Keegan Rothrock, in her 3rd collegiate appearance, gave up 7 hits to USF. Since then, the most she has given up is 3 to Jacksonville.
The 1-0. is a called strike. 1-1 now on Dowling.
By the way, some of the teams she's played since that USF game: Jacksonville, Georgia Southern, I don't know, Oklahoma State, North Florida, Lafayette, Illinois, Chicago, Fullerton, and UCLA.
Dowling fouls that one away into the bullpen. 1 ball, 2 strikes, and into that Florida bullpen where there is some action right now.
Yeah, we saw Ava Brown presumably get taken out to warm up. Avery Gels is over at first base. We thought that's what was going to happen, and that was the change Tim Walton made defensively.
1-2. Dowling fouls it straight back. 1-2.
I also just saw who I believe is Olivia Miller. Or no, I'm sorry, that's Emily Wilkie going to catch. Now Olivia Miller is going into the bullpen to warm up. That's the other freshman. She's a lefty who Alabama would love to see.
The 1-2. That one's fouled away. 1-2. Someone we're not seeing right now is Mackenzie Wooten, who is the 5th year, the transfer from Virginia, who we're not 100% sure made the trip.
Right, and it's not like a bad thing or anything.
Right, yeah.
It's actually a fairly cool story that Tim Walton told us in the offseason.
The 1-2 pitch, outside, 2-2.
So Mackenzie Wooten, very, very smart, obviously, went to UVA. She transferred to Florida for vet school, not even for softball. Tim Walton, though, knew his team needed more arms and offered her a spot.
The 2-2. Dowling fouls it away. We'll do it again, 2-2.
So he told us sometimes there are going to be weekends where she's not here because she's having to do vet school things, and that's the primary focus for her. But I really love that, you know, they were able to present that opportunity to her, and also how lucky for her that, you know, you've got a program that's okay with her situation.
Another 2-2 to Dowling. That one's driven to deep center field. That one's back. That one's gone. Solo shot for Bailey Dowling, and it's 2-0 Crimson Tide.
I made a change, Tom. I don't often change the wristband, but I put a new one on tonight, and it says Fearless. It was something that Bailey Dowling gave us a few days ago on her senior day. And when you're facing a really good pitcher and you're trying to execute your plan, sometimes you just got to be fearless. This is probably the only time tonight we've seen Alabama truly attack a rise ball. But Dowling loves doing that. She loves the high stuff, and that time got the barrel there and drove it just over Kinder Falby and out of the yard.
That Bama home run brought to you by the Bryant Museum, located on the UA campus just across from Coleman Coliseum. Open every day, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m., except Mondays. The first pitch to Kim Galen. It's a line drive to right on the run, making the catch is McClellan for out number 1. Access online at BryantMuseum.com. Give Bailey Dowling the big hat. It's 2-0 Crimson Tide.
I'll tell you what, give Kimberly Cahalan a round of applause, too. That was a fairly well-struck ball. That was not like some of the flyouts that we've seen the last few games from her. That's an out that I'm not upset about.
1 out, nobody on for Kristen White. Alabama now leading at 2-0. First pitch, a little bit high for ball 1.
You know the other reason I'm not super upset about that Cahalan out, and this is a little, too late analysis, but your freshman pitcher on the other side just gave up a home run. What's she probably going to do? Throw a strike.
Yeah.
Try and get ahead.
White takes a strike there. That's the first strike that she's seen today. 1 ball, 1 strike. She walked on 4 straight pitches back in the second inning.
Always interesting to see the way Tim Walton's defenses play slappers. We've seen a variety of ways over the years.
White swings and misses that one, 1-2.
There was a time when Alexis Mack and Alyssa Brown were on the team, he would bring in one of the outfielders and do the 5-man.
Which Arizona used last week.
Right.
That was only last week that Alabama played Arizona. The 1-2 is outside, 2-2.
I feel like I've lived many lifetimes since then. I mean,
once the season starts, you could tell me that the game happened yesterday or 3 months ago, and I'm like, yeah, you're right.
Yep.
The 2-2, little outside, and the count's full, 3-2.
You could tell me that we saw Alabama-Arizona the weekend that Barbie and Oppenheimer came out. You could also tell me that I saw I'm Just Ken at the Oscars the night Alabama played Arizona.
Payoff pitch. That one slapped to third. Kowalewski's there. She makes a stop in the throw for out number 2. It's hit a little bit too hard and right at the third baseman for it to be an infield hit for White there.
Yeah, it's got to be a little bit more in the general direction of Skylar Wallace, but that's kind of what I was talking about earlier on the Falby base hit. You know, that just didn't have the hop, but Kowalewski cut that one off and made that play a lot easier than it would have been had it gone to Skylar Wallace.
So now 2 outs, back to the top of the order, and Jenna Johnson. First pitch. Johnson fouls it back for strike 1. Jenna's 1 for 2. Singled in the first and scored. Reached on a fielder's choice in the second. Speaking of Oppenheimer, though, part of our Twitter space this evening, we'll discuss the out-of-the-box off-topic, our picks for the Oscars that happened last evening.
Yeah, our pick swap.
Yeah. The 0-1. Jenna fouls that one away. Well hit on top of the clubhouse and left field line 0-2.
So we're switching up some of the things where we have our expertise, areas of expertise. Tom, it's WWE, it's wrestling. For me, it's cinema. And so we did Oscar picks, and then I'll do WrestleMania picks, which will be hilarious.
The 0-2, Jenna with a ground ball. Wallace gets it behind second base. He throw just in time to get Johnson for out number 3. And probably 7 times out of 10, that's going to be a base hit. But Skylar Wallace, ranging to her left, was able to track that one down.
Yeah, that's her sweet spot defensively, and read that really well off the bat, too. Also, not quite hit as hard as I think Jenna would have wanted. A bit of a miss hit as she was trying to get over that ball, but still making Florida's defense have to make a play. And also, that was an inning where Alabama got a run.
Alabama with the leadoff homer by Bailey Dowling. 1 run on 1 hit, no errors, and no runners left. We played 4. It's 2-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from their field. The 5th inning is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with a refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. We move to the top of the 5th inning. Alabama with a 2-0 lead over Florida. Due up for the Gators here in the 5th. Walsh, Otis, and McClellan. 5-6-7 against Caleb Beaver in the circle for the Tide. The Beav in 4 innings has given up a couple of hits, but no runs and no walks, and is just now about to throw her 50th pitch of the ball game. First pitch to Reagan Walsh is a called strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Walsh, a junior from Redondo Beach, California. The 0-1. Same spot, same call, no balls and 2 strikes. Gray, are you aware of the date?
Should I be?
I don't know.
Well, let me look at my phone. Yes.
The 0-2. That's a ground ball to second. Hedlund's there. She makes the stop in the throw, and there's one gone.
But I won't spoil it, Tom.
Okay.
Let the people know.
It is March 11th, and Alabama on this date all time is 14-2.
Okay.
Outscoring opponents 98-18. As Corby Otis steps in, she struck out her first time up. First pitch. Bunts it foul, 0-1. Last year on this date, Bama split a doubleheader in Austin. They dropped a 3-1 decision to Texas State, but then that evening, An epic 4-3, 11-inning victory over the Longhorns. Montana Fouts in her most Montana-esque moments.
Yeah. And then we slept 3 hours.
And came, tried to play again. The 0-1's outside 1-1, which was the next day, so we won't discuss that.
Yeah, and don't forget, between those games, some nice barbecue at Micklethwaite.
Yes, indeed. And we met Bevo.
We did.
The actual Bevo.
There is no connection between the two.
No. The 1-1 that we are aware of is low.
I hope not.
2-1. That would be a very quick turnaround.
Wow. This is the efficiency off the charts. Welcome to the SEC.
They are going to have to toughen up. I'll tell you that from what I've seen. The fan base, the teams are fine. The 2-1 is low, 3-1.
It will be cool, though. Now, we'll be able to classify Kat Osterman as an SEC legend. I wouldn't be shocked if she was the first pick for Texas women's sports.
The 3-1. And that one's line. That's going to be fair down the right field line. But Lauren Johnson gets it in quickly to hold Otis to a single with 1 out. Gators have a runner on for the right fielder, Cassie McClellan.
Yeah, eventually Otis was going to find one. That's really kind of the first time Beaver's been caught in a true hitter's count. There have been some 2-0s, 2-1s. That was 3-1. Beaver had to throw a strike, and Otis able to get the barrel there. Good piece of hitting.
Yeah, not a bad pitch at all. It was a running away. First pitch is in there for a called strike on McClellan, but Otis was able to get the barrel head out there and go opposite way with it.
The more curious part is, will Florida try something with her on base, try and put her in motion? She's 5 of 6 in stolen bases this year.
The 0-1. Called strike, 0-2. They haven't really done a whole lot. They haven't had to do a whole lot. But as far as trying to manufacture, doing a lot of motion on the base paths.
I thought they might try and cook something up when Falby and Wallace were both aboard.
The 0-2 is low. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Talking about yesterday, that is. We really didn't see them when Falby and Wallace both got on, even tried too much.
Yeah. One, 2. Little outside, and she didn't go on the check swing. 2-2. Yeah, I hesitated because I don't know even why we were checking. I thought it was a strike to begin with, but
she held.
She didn't go, but I thought the pitch was a strike regardless. Maybe a touch outside.
Little river, dipping a toe.
2-2. Slap foul at the plate. That hit her in the batter's box. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Have we told the story, though, of first base umpire James Colsey yet? Do people know his other job? He's the head football coach at Florida A&M.
Oh, yeah, well, yeah.
Which is just, shout out to him. Wow. Talk about multitasking.
2-2. Slap foul. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, that's usually an all-encompassing job, but he's able to fit in some elite level softball umpire.
Some light, nationally televised umpiring. I remember when that tweet came across, I texted Amanda Scarborough, are James Colsey the umpire?
The 2-2. There it is, called strike 3. McClellan's down on strikes, and there's 2 away.
It's just a good pitch by Kayla Beaver. Just a good little spinny pitch. That one, very similar to the one earlier, but just enough inside that it clipped the edge. That's a strike.
Arrow Kolowiski now steps in. The first pitch to her is a ground ball to short. Nice backhanded play by Cahalan. The throw is in time, and Alabama strands the runner and keeps Florida off the board here in the 5th.
And continuing to hold on to the momentum. Why did yesterday unravel? Because even when Alabama answered, Florida found a response immediately. Tonight, 0 for 2 in the response stat.
For the Gators, no runs on a hit, no errors, and 1 runner left on base. We stretch in Tuscaloosa. We move to the home half of the 5th. 2-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The fifth inning is presented by Yellowhammer Brewing Company, Alabama's finest craft brewery. Hit your stride with refreshing Yellowhammer beer, now available at stores near you. We move to the bottom of the fifth inning. Alabama with a 2-0 lead over Florida. Due up for the Tide here in the fifth. Johnson, Dukeshire, and Giles, 2-3-4 against Keegan Rothrock in the circle for the Gators. Rothrock has gone 4 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, both earned, 1 walk and 1 strikeout. And her first pitch of the fifth inning will be her 78th, and it's actually going to be to a different batter. It's going to be Larissa Pruitt.
Yeah, Pruitt getting a shot here. 8 of 35 on the year, 229 average, 5 RBIs, a triple, 325 OBP, good speed. Hasn't had a ton of looks here this weekend, just 0 for 1, but great shot here to start something in the fifth.
First pitch is a little outside for ball 1. She's replacing Lauren Johnson, who went 0 for 2. Again outside, 2-0.
I find it interesting that these first 2 pitches, Pruitt has been in swing away mode. You know, I wonder if maybe there's a little baitiness going on here, trying to bait the infield.
Two-0. There's a strike, 2-1. Sophomore from Hartselle, Alabama, Larissa Pruitt. Trying to start off the bottom of the fifth. 2-1. Called strike again, this time on the outside corner, 2-2.
The other thing Alabama's done really well, again, that pitch count up for Rothrock. 81 pitches now in this game.
Swing and a miss, strike 3. Pruitt chases the rise, and there's 1 away.
First time tonight, somebody's chased the high rise. I know Lauren Essman struck out on one a little bit earlier on what was kind of a belt rise, but that was a true, I'm trying to make you swing at something that's not a strike, and unfortunately Pruitt fell for it.
So 1 out now for Abby Dukeshire. First pitch, swing and a miss, strike 1. Duke's 1 for 2, singled in the first and popped out in the third. Sophomore from Kindred, North Dakota. The 0-1. Foul tipped in the glove, 0-2.
That's an adjustment made by Chelsea Dobbins and Keegan Rothrock. Now they're throwing a lot of these belt high rises, and those are 2 straight that Dukeshire couldn't get on top of.
The 0-2 is inside, 1-2.
You know, if they're not going to chase the rise, okay, then find a way to throw the rise for a strike.
Yeah. The 1-2, foul back. We'll do it again, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Yeah, I mentioned the difference in the pitch count. Ironically, in the first game, both pitchers threw exactly 109 pitches. In this matchup between Rothrock and Beaver, Beaver has thrown 65 pitches through 5 innings, and Rothrock is about to throw her 87th here in the fifth. And that one's fouled away again. So we're seeing a lot more of the long at-bats being executed by Alabama batters, where we've seen the Florida batters doing it here in the first 2 games.
And not even that. Like, there were the long at-bats in the first game, but they didn't lead to anything.
Right. Yeah.
Alabama's able to execute at the end of those long at-bats.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Dukeshire chase one low and away, and there's 2 away.
Pretty good pitch sequence by Rothrock there. We haven't seen her use what kind of looked like, yeah, it's just straight fastball on the outer edge. That's a spot pitch, and Dukeshire a little bit late.
So Marley Giles set to come up. She's talking with Patrick Murphy before she heads up there. Marley's had a good day so far today. She's 2 for 2 with a RBI single and a double.
I will add, though, you know, Keegan Rothrock now has 6 strikeouts in, what is that, 11 2/3 innings. She entered this weekend 4th in the SEC in Ks. So Alabama has not been truly fooled all that much by her.
First pitch. Called strike 0-1. That one comes in high, 1-1. Yeah, there's a lot of nuances that tell you that the offensive issues for Alabama aren't as bad as they seem.
Right.
But bottom line, you got to score runs.
Right. You do need to score to beat the other team.
Yes. The 1-1 misses inside, 2-1. But there is a lot to it. And the process is still processing. 2 1s inside, 3-1.
Right. I mean, sometimes number of hits does not necessarily reflect the amount of quality at-bats that you have. Like, again, I mean, approach, strategy, what you're able to lay off of, probably going to get a belt rise. Let's see if it's out of the zone on the 3-1.
It's, I think it was, and Rothrock got the call, and the count's full 3-2.
See this is a missed spot, maybe a little high.
Payoff pitch. That one's low for ball 4. So Giles does draw the walk eventually. I think on the pitch previous to, because it missed its spot,
yeah,
it looks like a worse pitch than it ended up being. It might have ended up being a strike, but because the catcher had to move her glove so far.
Yeah, I said a little high, and then they showed the side angle, and it was kind of numbers. So I think it was top of the zone, but, you know, either way.
Got the walk anyway. So
everything's fine.
Giles is on first, and Callie Hevlin to the plate. Hevlin with a fly ball to right. McClellan settles underneath it. She makes the catch for out number 3 to retire the side. And that'll do it for Alabama. Tide gets a runner on, but can't get her over. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left. We've played 5. It's 2-0 Crimson Tide here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The 6th inning is presented by the Alabama Crimson Tide Game Day Live app. Keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide Game Day Live mobile app, presented by Cadence Bank. Download now for free at the App Store and Google Play. We move to the top of the 6th inning. Alabama with a 2-0 lead over Florida. Due up for the Gators here in the 6th. It'll be Williams, Falby, and Wallace. 9-1-2 against Kayla Beaver. Alabama, 2 runs on 6 hits, no errors, and 6 left. For Florida, no runs on 3 hits, no errors, and 2 runners left on base. Lauren Johnson did re-enter the ball game. She's back out in right field for Larissa Pruitt. And we will see a pinch hitter to start things off for Florida. Katie Kistler will lead things off for the Gators, left-handed hitting. First pitch, low and out for ball 1. Kistler on the year, batting .381, 16 of 42 with 13 runs scored, 4 doubles, a triple, a homer, and 18 runs driven in.
0 for 4 with an RBI, strikeout, and a run scored in the series so far.
Takes that one a little bit low, 2 balls and no strikes. The 2-0. There's a strike, 2-1. The wind remains incredibly still.
I was just about to say that. Get out of my head, partner.
The 2-1, little outside, 3-1.
I mean, all the home games that you and I have seen this year,
Yeah.
has it ever been like this?
No. Just gale force winds, every one but this one.
Usually in ways not favoring Alabama.
The 3-1. In there for a strike. Inside corner at the knees, and the count's now full, 3-2.
Well, needless to say, this is such an important batter. I mean, top of the order, right around the corner with Falby and Wallace. This has got to be an out.
Beaver looks in. Payoff pitch. Grounded foul. Down the first baseline. We'll do it again, 3-2. Mention Alabama's schedule. After this one, Florida midweek against Stetson and Mercer.
Oh.
Yeah. 3-2. Again, fouled away. Do it again, 3 balls and 2 strikes. And then a couple against Indiana. They're at Florida Gulf Coast as well this next weekend. Another 3-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And Beaver battles back after falling down the count to get the strikeout, and there's one gone.
It's got to be perfect. You know, that's a little bit of a low rise, but honestly, that's Beaver saying, I'm going to try and hum it by you. It's got a little curve movement to it, but that's a lot over the white. So it's either you're going to swing and miss or my defense got my back, because I've got to get out of this situation and get an out, and that's what she did.
Kendra Falby up, slaps the first pitch foul for strike 1. Falby's 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out. So next weekend for Florida is actually their off weekend in the conference. So that's why they got Indiana and Mercer and Stetson all at KPS. The 0-1. Falby, one hopper to short. Cahalan has it, makes the throw for out number 2, and that's what you need Falby to do for you when she puts it on the ground.
A much simpler play.
Yes.
This time for the left side of the infield.
And we'll bring up Skylar Wallace, who's 0 for 2 on the day, reached on a fielder's choice in the 4th. First pitch, called strike. So Florida's next 2 series in the conference, they host Kentucky and then at Mississippi State.
Yeah.
Winnable, but dangerous.
I would say sweepable, but also very losable.
The 0-1 swung on a miss, 0-2.
Like, I could see a world where Florida sweeps Kentucky fairly easily, or Schoonover has one of those weekends and wins the series.
And then they play LSU, which, wow, we'll see what happens.
Will LSU still be undefeated? No.
The 0-2 in the dirt. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Skylar Wallace. 2 out, nobody on. Alabama leads at 2-0 here in the 6th. And if you got to face Skylar Wallace late in the game, this is what you want the situation to be.
Yep. And you want to make sure you keep her off base and not let Jocelyn Erickson step at the plate again tonight as the tying run.
1-2. That's a ground ball that is fair down the first base line. Dukeshire makes a stop, tags the bag for out number 3, and that one was very, very dangerous. It was bounding right along the foul line, bounced over the first base bag. So I was worried it was going to hit the bag. It did not. Dukeshire made the stop, stepped on the bag, and that was it.
I thought the same thing. You know, Dukeshire had to play it the way that she did. There wasn't much of an option. And you know what? Sometimes you need the bounce to go your way, and Alabama just had that situation occur.
No runs, no hits, no errors for Florida here in the 6th. We move to the bottom of the 6th. 2-0 Crimson Tide here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network for Learfield. The 6th inning is presented by the Alabama Crimson Tide Game Day Live app. Keep up with everything Alabama with the Alabama Crimson Tide Game Day Live mobile app presented by Cadence Bank. Download it now for free at the App Store and Google Play. We head to the home half of the 6th inning. It's 2-0 Alabama.
And a couple defensive changes for Florida, but also a change for Alabama. They're going to have a pinch hitter. Reagan Walsh has come in to play second base. Kistler has stayed in to play right. And, Tom, it's time for the first career conference play at bat for Kendall Clark.
Kendall Clark will lead things off for the Tide here in the 6th, replacing Lauren Essman. Designated player, first pitch. And that's a ground ball to short. Backing up is Wallace. She slips, and the throw is not going to be in time to get Clark at first. And Kendall Clark leads things off with an infield hit here in the 6th inning.
Yeah, Wallace had to back up. First off, I'm glad she's okay because we've seen people in that similar scenario, right as the dirt turns into grass, injure something.
Yeah.
Skylar Wallace looks like she's fine, but Kendall Clark, you know, with Florida defensively kind of respecting the power, just had one that was slow enough and deep enough that was the only place Wallace could go to field it cleanly.
So Clark on first, nobody out for Bailey Dowling. Dowling 1 for 2 with the ground out and a solo homer. First pitch, Dowling puts down a nice bunt. Kaluski has it, makes the throw in time. Clark to second, but the sacrifice bunt moves the runner into scoring position with 1 out for the Tide here in the 6th.
I like that. You know, I like the execution piece there from Dowling. Maybe hoping that you catch the Florida defense by surprise a little bit, but man, Kawaluski's been very impressive over at third all weekend long.
Kinley Cahalan now to the plate with a runner on first. Kinley's 1 for 2 with a single. First pitch is fouled away for strike 1. Cahalan fouls it away again, 0-2. An RBI single by Marley Giles in the first and the solo homer by Bailey Dowling in the 4th. All the scoring in the game so far. Bama leads at 2-0. The 0-2 is high, 1-2. One-two pitch.
Ooh.
Little high, little outside, 2-2.
Such a good spot on a 1-2. Keegan Rothrock spotting that fastball. It's a ball, it is, but the whole point of that is to get a swing and a miss, and Cahalan did not bite.
The 2-2 pitch. A little further outside, and the count's full, 3 balls and 2 strikes.
So really good at bat.
Rothrock looks in. The payoff pitch. Cahalan lines up the middle. That's down for a base hit. Clark will stay at third. The ball bounces away from Falby. Here comes the throw. It's not going to be in time. Clark scores, and Bama leads it 3-0.
Yes, I was waiting for the highlight. Get the barrel there, Kinley Cahalan. It's a rise ball from Rothrock, but look at the path. We can see it, and I'll describe it. It's up in the zone, and Cahalan's able to get the barrel there and go through it. Send a charge right out to Falby. And Kendra Falby, I think, already thinking ahead to the throw home, couldn't field it cleanly. That'll probably, yes, be scored an error on Florida that allows Clark to score. And on a night where Beaver's been great, you didn't need a ton, but this might be enough.
First error of the weekend by the Florida Gators as well. The first time that they've made a mistake, and Alabama really applying the pressure here for the first time all weekend. So Cahalan doesn't get the RBI there because of the error, allowing the run to score unearned. Alabama leads at 3-0, and Emma Broadfoot getting her at bat here. The first pitch is in there for a called strike as Broadfoot is in for Kristen White in an RBI producing opportunity.
5 for 25 this year, 200 batting average, 6 RBIs, a homer, a double.
That pitch is inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Rothrock now up over 100 pitches as well.
Little surprised she pitched this inning. Thought we might see Brown for the 6th.
The 1-1. Broadfoot fouls it away, 1-2. One-two pitch is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. It won't be discussed as much in this inning, but the sacrifice bunt by Bailey Dowling moving the runner to second helped make that play happen, because if the runner's not on second, she doesn't score there.
Execution.
The 2-2 pitch. Broadfoot fouls it back. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 1 out, runner on first. Bama now leads at 3-0. 1 run already in here in the 6th inning. Two-two. Broadfoot. The fly ball foul ground. It will fall foul down the right field line. We'll do it again. 2 balls and 2 strikes.
That was away. So if I am thinking strategically, what I'm expecting is either that screwball or that low rise in on the hands, if I'm Emma Broadfoot.
2-2 pitch. Fouled it off. It was in on her.
Yeah, you just got to get rid of that. Remember, Elizabeth Hightower from Florida did that so well too. Her screw would run in on you, and it'd be really hard to barrel up. You just got to fight it off and wait for something over the white.
Another 2-2. Broadfoot swings and misses, a strike 3, and there's 2 away.
Is that a drop? Watching the replay, and it's more curvy, but it did have a little bit of downspin from Rothrock. That was kind of a surprise and a good pitch by her.
So 2 outs, runner on first now, back to the top of the order, Jenna Johnson. First pitch. Johnson fouls that one away for strike 1. Jenna's 1 for 3, singled and scored in the first, reached on a fielder's choice in the second, grounded out in the fourth.
And this is now, with 8 hits, the most that Keegan Rothrock has allowed in her college career. Which I figured Alabama would hit her a little bit better tonight. I'm not sure I would have expected that, but just overall, the execution of the plan has been infinitely better.
The 0-1, outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Gahalen dancing around a little bit there at first as well. The 1-1, hopped up foul, 1-2. We haven't seen many runners being put in motion here today or this weekend either by either team. One of the reasons why is you have really 2 good catchers behind home plate with rocket arms. The 1-2. Called strike 3. I don't think Jenna went around, but it was a called strike, and that's what Jenna's asking right now. So Johnson strikes out, and that'll do it for the Tide here in the 6th. But Alabama adds to it here in the 6th inning as they get 1 run on 2 hits. There was 1 error and 1 runner left on base.
And a good job, again, just getting a little bit of insurance, just a little bit. 2, you know, you still get a little nervous, but 3, you feel fairly confident. And now keep doing what you've been doing all night. Close this out.
We head to the top of the 7th. The last chance for Florida is 3-0 Alabama here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield. The 7th inning is presented by Tuscaloosa Ford. We'd like to thank Tuscaloosa Ford for providing transportation for the Crimson Tide Sports Network to all this season's away games. Visit Tuscaloosa Ford for your next vehicle purchase. Roll Tide with Tuscaloosa Ford. We move to the top of the 7th inning, the last chance for the Gators. Alabama with a 3-0 lead over Florida. 2 up for Florida here in the 7th. Erickson, Brown, and Walsh. 3, 4, 5. Kayla Beaver back out in the circle, looking to finish this one off complete. And will be throwing her 80th pitch of the ball game to start off this 7th inning.
It's really been a tour de force.
First pitch, lined right back up the middle by Jocelyn Erickson, and that's a leadoff single for the Florida catcher to start things off here in the 7th.
She's a good player, a good hitter, and that's why it was so important to me that Beaver was able to get Wallace to end the last inning and make sure that Erickson came up with nobody on base.
So a leadoff signal will now bring up Ava Brown, who re-enters the ball game, replacing Gels. The first pitch is in there for a called strike.
And once again, all you and I ever ask in these situations is keep that tie and run away from the plate. And right now she is standing in the on-deck circle. Can't do much damage there.
The 0-1 pitch, outside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Brown so far on the day is 0 for 2 with a ground out, and she grounded into a double play in the 4th. Which, when we look back, might be the biggest play of the ball game. The 1-1. Ground ball, that's going to get through for a base hit into right field, and now the Gators have runners on first and second with nobody out, and that tying run does come to the plate for Florida.
Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, I got tricked. I thought it was going to be easy. I thought that the Florida Gators would just make it easy. No. You know, that's an outer pitch curling back in that Brown is just able to get the barrel there, too, and now this is SEC pressure. Kayla Beaver, welcome to the conference.
Reagan Walsh to the plate. She's over 2 with a couple of ground outs. First pitch. Called strike. 0-1.
I like that location. If I'm Alabama, I'm staying away. I'm staying away if there's a single, I'm not sure Erickson is coming in to score, but staying away. Don't give her anything she can barrel up and hit for power.
The 0-1. Back to Beaver. She has it. She'll throw to second for 1. Another double play turn by this Alabama defense. Second of the game. And quickly, Florida is down to their final out.
Oh. What? Amazing. Yesterday was so weird. I still don't get it. I mean, that is the Alabama defense that we've raved about all year. And, man, the awareness again of Beaver to understand the situation. Well done.
Corby Otis, the last chance for Florida. The first pitch. High for ball 1. Otis is 1 for 2 with a single and a strikeout.
And shout out to Beaver again, not only for the awareness, but also for keeping her cool. It's so easy to get so amped that you fire that before Cahalan's ready and it goes out to center field.
Yep.
Not an issue on that play.
The 1-0. Ooh, a little outside, 2-0.
Yeah, I think that's the right call. I will also give Florida credit. They haven't chased a ton tonight. Beaver hasn't had to throw a lot of pitches because she's thrown a lot of strikes, but Florida has not offered it stuff like that. That's been a ball or two outside or more.
The 2-0 pitch. A little high, 3-0. It's low for ball 4.
I don't hate it. You know, it's 3-0. Otis, experienced, very talented. Now you're setting up a freshman lefty to try and come in and do something crazy.
It is Cassie McClellan. She's 0 for 2 with a flyout and a strikeout. Runners on the corners, 2 outs, 3-0 Alabama here in the 7th.
Entering tonight, lefties against Kayla Beaver. We're hitting 0.85.
First pitch. Called strike. Tim Walton calls timeout. And also, if you're Alabama too, if you're defensively, you got to have the awareness that that runner on first base means absolutely nothing.
And the runner at third as well. Yeah, I mean, it's...
If they tried to do something, just let them
run.
Let them do all what they're doing.
Imagine if that's the only stolen base of the series. Between these two teams?
Right. So Tim Walton brought over pretty much everyone to have a quick discussion. Patrick Murphy came out and talked things over with the Alabama infield. Maybe relaying that particular message.
And just in case you're wondering, McClellan does not have a home run this year. There are 2 players in the lineup for Florida who do not have homers, Falby and McClellan.
The 0-1. A little high, 1-1.
I thought that was a hair rivery. Felt like a setup, though. Probably something hard and in here on the 1-1.
The 1-1 pitch. Right in there for a called strike, and the Gators down to their final strike.
Or velocity.
Yeah.
You know,
or just throw it real fast.
Do that.
Crowd to their feet here at the Rhodes House. Beaver looks in, and the 1-2. Fouled off. We'll do it again, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I'd love for this next pitch to be more obviously a ball. Because even if it gets by Giles, okay, it's 1 run. See if you can get a chase on the 1-2 with that nasty drop.
Beaver looks in. Another 1-2 is slap foul into the Bama dugout. Count remains 1 ball, 2 strikes.
I think that was the plan, and somehow McClellan just got the barrel there.
Yeah. Another 1-2. Outside, and the count's even up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Another 2-2. Another foul ball. And again, we have runners on the corners. There's 2 outs. Alabama leads at 3-0 here in the top of the 7th. Caleb Beaver trying to finish it off. Two-two pitch. A little outside. The count is full, 3-2.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it is outside.
Yeah.
All right.
That's
here
the
we
right call. Crowd getting me. Darn.
Beaver looks in. Here comes the payoff pitch. It's inside for ball 4.
Credit where it's due. That is a very mature walk drawn by the freshman McClellan. I'm going to give her a lot of credit for that. That was not easy. That's a ball.
And now Florida is going to have a pinch hitter, Bailey Goddard.
She's hitting 400 on the year, 10 of 25, 13 RBIs, does have the 3 homers, 3 doubles, and 9 runs scored.
Fifth-year senior from Orange Park, Florida, will step in here.
1 for 11 all-time in her career against Alabama, 0 for 3 with 2 Ks here this weekend.
First pitch. A touch inside for ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Low, 2-0. And that was the 100th pitch of the ball game thrown by Beaver. She's thrown 21 this inning, which is by far the most in any inning. (2-0). Called strike, 2-1.
Yep. I know the fans just want this game to end. I think these are the right calls. There have been a couple that have been iffy. But if you're Beaver, you just got to go after it.
Yep.
Right now.
The 2-1. Swing and a miss. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Did just blow it right past her at 70 miles an hour. And once again, Florida down to their final strike.
Similar to the last at-bat, this needs to be a clear ball.
The 2-2. Called strike 3. Got her down on strikes with the bases loaded. And Alabama wins by a final score of 3-0. What a pitch thrown to end it by Caleb Beaver. Right at the knees. Oh, froze her. And Bama claims a game and salvages a game of this series. And if you're only going to win one, win the last one so you feel better about yourself and a much better performance all the way around for the Crimson Tide, pulling out this victory.
The pitch a little bit low from Beaver. Credit to Marley Giles on the frame. That was good. And that was exactly the game you needed. You know, we talked about the response, and when I talked about that yesterday, I wasn't even talking about win or loss. I just wanted to see the competitiveness, the fire. We mentioned earlier at the very, very beginning of this game that Alabama seemed appropriately angry. What did that mean? That they weren't going to let that anger make them do things out of character.
Right.
That they were going to channel that anger into better execution. And by far, the execution tonight was better than it has been, not just this weekend, but I would argue the last 2 weeks. And to have that performance, while you still missed a few chances, to have that performance overall going into what's ahead this week, I'll take it.
For the Gators in the 7th inning, no runs on 2 hits. There were no errors. 3 runners left on base. With the win, Alabama improves to 20-3 on the year, 1-2 in the conference. Florida falls to 21-4 overall, 2-1 in SEC play. For Alabama, 3 runs on 8 hits, no errors, and 7 runners left on base. For Florida, no runs on 5 hits, 1 error. 5 runners left on base. Kayla Beaver, the winning pitcher, complete game victory. She's now 8-1. Keegan Rothrock, the losing pitcher, complete game loss. She's now 9-3. We'll take a timeout, come back with the Fast Signs Tuscaloosa post-game report as Alabama wins a game here in this series and wins this one by a shutout, 3-0 over Florida here on the Crimson Tide Sports Network from Learfield.